Hello, everyone. In the last lecture, we learned how to connect to a blockchain. Now, we will move one step ahead and understand how to connect to a blockchain from a different node. We will begin by launching a second server and installing the multichain on this new server. We will follow the same steps as in the previous lecture, and then configure it. Now, before launching a new node, make sure that you are following the same process as you did with the first server. An important thing to remember here is that do not take the image of node 1 and then relaunch it, because that will create nothing but another node 1. Neither it will have a separate address nor commands. That is why you need to make sure that you're launching a new server as a fresh node and not the image of the previous node. Now I am going to start another server with similar settings, which we discussed during the last lecture. Now we will tag this newly launched server as node 2, so we can identify it quickly. We are using an existing security group, which we have named as a multichain node. Review the launch and choose the same key or another as you'd like before pressing the Launching Instances button. Therefore, now you will see I have node 2 running in instances with the public IP of node 2. I will copy this IP and keep it for record or using it for new terminals. Now I will copy this SSH command and open a new tab here. So the left-hand side tab is node 1 and the right hand is node 2. Just wait for the machine to initialize appropriately, and now let's connect using the SSH. Here, we will use the same command that we used to install multichain and start with the most useful command. First, we do sudo su, then mkdir. After that, execute this and download the multichain. Untar it, and then move it to the multichain folder over the command line. Now we have everything ready, as we have completed the third step of connecting to a blockchain from node 2. Using SSH, we will connect to our blockchain 1, which was created on node 1. Before moving further, let's have a look at the screenshots, because you need to make sure that you have permission to connect to the server on this port number, which is specified by the previous node 1 address. Now, if you see here, when we created the node, there were some details shown. For example, like this one. When you look at this port, other servers should be allowed to connect to this server on the specified port. To ensure this, I will go into the security group, which regulates the multichain node permissions. Click on the Inbound tab and go to Edit, and make sure that the port number which you just copied is entered there with permissions allowed for external connections. You should have the inbound rule available for port 7451. As you can see, this port number is missing, so we click on Add Rule and paste this port number with 0.0.0.0/0 as the IP, because we want to open it for everyone. In case you want only some specific IP addresses to connect, you can also define it here. So now that the server is allowed to connect, we can connect to node 1 from node 2 using this port. We need to write the address for which we will copy the previous port command. You don't need to copy-paste the entire command, because your server must have shown different results, so copy accordingly. Move the node 2 and try to execute the command. If the command gets executed successfully, it will display a message that says blockchain successfully initialized, but please ask the blockchain admin to have the activate permission to let you connect or transact. You need to have the connect permission to be given by the administrator of node 1. Here, I will provide the connect as well as send and receive permissions to node 2 address. To do this, I will copy the command and go to node 1 and paste it here. This will give the permission, and when you execute the command, you will receive a transaction ID. Since I have the permissions, all I have to do is connect, and it will show you everything in the terminal. Now that it says node started, your node 2 is connected to node 1 using the multichain. Remember that they are not talking anywhere except interacting on multi-chain using the specified port. For example, if I push some data on node 2, it will be available on node 1, and if I push something on node 1, it will be available on node 2. This means the two servers can talk to each other on a specific protocol in an ingenious way. So, if we go back to our documentation, we are done with executing commands on node 1 and node 2. You have to wait for a few seconds, and then you can see the retrieving block parameter from seed node, which will mention that blockchain is successfully initialized. If you go to node 2 command line, you can copy this command, and on executing, you can see the details are also available here on node 2. So everything is available on node 2 and node 1. If you want to see how many blocks you missed, you can see that by typing the command multichain-cli chain name and get info on node 1. As you can see presently, there are 93 blocks, which means they have increased from the point of genesis blocks. You can see the same information at node 2 by typing the same command. To sum it up, we created and connected from node 2 to node 1. If you want to start this node in the background, you can use the nohup command with an ampersand in the end. However, right now, as you can see, it is running, and if we press Ctrl+C, then it will get terminated. Now we will use the grep command to check for the ongoing processes. If you run this command, it will display a message saying error connecting to server because it is disconnected. This time we will try the nohup command in the beginning so that the server will not get disconnected after SSH has been closed. So once you enter the command, you will see that the server is running in the background. You can check the same data in node 2 by executing the same command to retrieve the information. If you have any queries, please email on hello@blockchain-council.org. Thank you.